It is indeed a Groundhog edition of Woodbine Racing Live from Woodbine Mohawk Park, and we are racing under ideal conditions for the first time in a long, long time. Seasonal conditions for racing, which is absolutely fantastic. Welcome to Woodbine Mohawk Park. My name is Jeff Brads. I'll be your tour guide for tonight's festivities. The Hall of Famer Randy Waples, he is riding shotgun with yours truly here this evening. And I don't know when it became that we have so many different groundhogs. Punxsutawney Phil, Wyerton Willie, you name it. Any small town seems to have it. I'm a believer in me not seeing my shadow this morning, and I'm a believer in Wyerton Willie too, because he did not see a shadow either. He's our Ontario boy. But when you get up at 10 o'clock, Randy, and you walk out of your bed, you're not going to see your shadow.
You're not going to see your shadow. I think it's a lot of pressure for you anyway.
It was. So very much looking forward to hopefully the end of this winter that has been. But today, it's so funny how it works because, you know, normally, say, like, this was November, we had like a -5 day, we'd be like, man, freezing outside.
Yeah.
But today, beautiful
It
day.
was. Said the same thing. I was talking to my father on the way in here today. He said, what's it like up there today? I said, it's gorgeous up here today.
Yeah.
You know,
But it's
minus
cold
6.
in Florida.
Yeah, but still, it was just so gorgeous up
Yeah,
here.
it was.
I think my brother there was going to actually package up a whole bunch of snow and send it down to my dad there in case he missed it.
I saw, like, Myrtle Beach, they're getting pounded with snow, like, just places that they don't know
Unreal.
what to do. Like, they
No.
don't have the equipment, right?
No, absolutely.
Everything shuts down.
Yeah, but can you imagine if you were a kid going to school and all of a sudden it started snowing? You'd have the greatest time, wouldn't it?
Amazing. So I was watching you and Lisa on Saturday and on Sunday. You guys did a great job as per usual. Congratulations to all the O'Brien Award winners this past Saturday as well. And we're going to take a look at a video of a couple, one horse, one human that have won their fair share of O'Brien Awards. Your dad right now is in Florida, and he got a chance to sit behind our horse of the year from last season and sent up the video footage right now. And this is Bo Jangles, who, you know, obviously we have very high expectations placed on his shoulders. And anytime a 2-year-old wins horse of the year, that's difficult to do, but that's how good he was last season.
Yeah, he was just special. And my father there, according to him, he said on the trot, you can hear him and feel him touch the ground. He said as soon as he moves on to the pace, he said you cannot hear him or do anything. And he's talking. That's him out there talking to the other. This, you know, and one thing that the only thing that I found a common denominator with all the great ones that I drove, they knew it.
Yeah.
And he knows it too.
Yeah.
We could be looking at something special here, Mr. Bratt. Now,
Fingers
according to
crossed.
my father too, he's pretty well sure that he's got that drive sewed up. He doesn't figure that either Bob or Ian need to sit behind him anymore, that he'd be he's quite capable of handling them.
You know what? I honestly think Dad would come out of retirement to drive him.
I think he would. I think he'd come out of retirement to paddock him.
Yeah. But congratulations to Doc. Obviously, a massive night for him. You know, winning a couple of O'Brien Awards individually, and to have this horse win Horse of the Year honors as well. And then Chantilly, you know, she won her respective category as well. So, way to go to everybody involved. And I just can't wait to see this guy back. And you know, Doc, I imagine he had that schedule planned out for this season, probably when his 2-year-old campaign wrapped up.
Oh, yeah, that's one thing about Doc. His bills get out on, whatever the first of the month is. They get out on the first or even maybe the last day of the month. And stuff like this, you know, he is a very organized man. Trust me, he has got this whole thing mapped out, you know. Just be like one of those police shows where you see the big wall there with all the stuff and the string going from one to the other.
Yeah.
That'll be Doc.
Well, I'm going to call Doc Aaron Rodgers because he keeps saying, I'm going to retire. But then Bo Jangles comes around, well, maybe I'm not going to retire. Not so fast.
Well, it's not even just keeping him in this year. You know what I mean? It's now basically got him locked into Bo Jangles' offspring.
Yeah.
So he's going to stick around for 3 or 4 years just to have to get the opportunity to sit behind a couple of Bo Jangles' offsprings.
Well, you can fly around all over the place.
Another thing, quick one out there as well too, because not often are we talking about Dr. Moore and trotters in the same breath. But my father said he's got a muscle mass down there that is absolutely to die for. So Doc Moore could be coming up here loaded for bear this year.
Nice little segue there because we had the trotters on display last night here and at Woodbine Mohawk Park. More often than not, you look at this type of races, the preferreds, they've been fairly, single file type of races. But last night we had some movement, and Dave Maneri said, okay, I didn't win the O'Brien, I'm going to win it this year. And he wins 3 on the program last night, Madame X, cover band, and Usain Hanover. We're going to take a look at Usain Hanover in a couple of seconds. James, he's been slow by James's standards.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
he had a big night last night.
Yes, he did. Yeah, no doubt about it. Actually, a little bit, well, he was a little bit slow. I had him down to win 12 out of the 10. And I think he only ended up winning about 4 or 5. So, maybe he had a slow night, but we'll call it a good night.
Pollock Racing, man, oh man, they just keep winning races. And Usain Hanover recovers after making a miscue on January the 18th and wins here. What I love too is, how about Maneri giving J.R. Plon a shot? With nice horse like
Absolutely.
this?
I mean, absolutely. You're becoming a J.R. Plon
I'm
fan.
the president of the fan club.
That's right. And you know what's even better about this is when me and Elisa were doing this, we were both talking about Usain and safe conduct, just looking to get around, because they were kind of mixed up in that last week. And, you don't want to do too much with them when they come back. And look where it ends up being. 1-2. Usain Hanover, and who's this coming on the outside? Safe Conduct. Both of them raced extremely well. And you want to know something? I didn't have either one of them on my ticket.
That's okay. I don't think you're alone there. 16-1 winner there. Now, I've often asked you about, your preference. You really like driving the trotters. If you could train and be a specialist, would you like to be like a trotting specialist?
Yeah, for sure. Trotters, there's just something kind of cool about them.
Yeah.
Pacers are cool too, but Pacers, I would say you would put them down as a sports car. And when you're young, you like fast and you like sports cars, but it's not that good of a ride. It's kind of bumpy. Trotters are like a Cadillac, and you know what a Cadillac ride's like.
I do. And you know what, too? I love the puzzle that are trotters. Once you figure them out.
Yes. Yeah, and some of them, I mean, they are so good at figuring these horses out. And that, I agree with you. That is real art.
Let's take a look at some stats and standings. What we did is we're going to look back to the month of January, since the first month of 2026 is in the books. And I imagine Team Cullen very well represented. They had a massive weekend last weekend as well. So let's take a look at some stats and standings and find out who is on top after 1 month is done. So this does not include last night. 30 wins.
Wow.
12 more than McNair. What would the odds of J.R. Plump being on this board have been at the start of last season? And James McDonald as well. But Travis Cullen and his win average, if you win 1 out of every 4 races, you're doing something right.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, too. And my father, I know his eye would just drop right down to that 424,000 that he's got made so far this year. He's off to an incredible start. He's an incredibly hard worker, very talented from the time that he came on this circuit. But I truly believe, and it's never that I've asked it to him, I truly do believe, though, that he got a chance to drive with some of these better kind of drivers, you know what I mean? Like top quality kind of drivers. And it's now made him into a much better driver. He is light years ahead of his driving when he came. Obviously, was very talented in the trainer aspect of it already. But his driving is just growing by leaps and bounds, man.
It's like when you're a kid. If you play with kids that are a little bit better than you, it forces you to get better.
It does, absolutely.
Let's take a look at Daryl Thiessen. He's made onto the board, which is fantastic. Travis Henry onto the board, too. And then we have a couple of staples, and Bobby McClure and Jody Jamieson.
Yeah, for sure. A couple of veterans on this one, too. But, wow, amazing that Thiessen, he's really, to me, the guy that's the kind of Johnny on the spot, Johnny come lately, you know what I mean? And he's kind of got the best momentum right now, just about of anybody. Way to go, Daryl. Well done.
And on last Friday's card, he did something that's very difficult to do here at Woodbine Mohawk Park. He won 2 races from way off the base, like dead last.
Yeah, for sure. You know what I mean? He's got to, whatever he does, he has to carry this momentum over to the summer, because that's when another young guy on this clip, Travis Henry, he will take off big time, I think, in the summer. When the Sire Stakes start, this guy will be in demand big time, and Daryl's got to make sure that people know that he'd be willing to travel with some of these Ontario Sire Stake horses.
Let's take a look at some trainers now, shall we? And who is on top here? Well, Jody Cullen, not surprisingly. And look at the earnings there. Pretty nice there, $415,000. Dave Maneri. He's going to get an O'Brien before his career's done. I'm telling you, he's going to get it. Kyle Pellis, how about Logan Park, eh? Well, wins yet again.
Yeah, unbelievable. But he deserved it.
And he missed time, though, because he went for the Elite Law.
It's funny because he started the year off so poor, but by the end of the year, he was Logan Park again. And, he is the best trotter in Canada. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, plain and simple. And we'll take a look at the second page of this board as well. We got Mark Etzel, which is great to see. Meg Crone, Jacques Dupont. Fantastic. The French population very well represented with Jacques and Justin Turcotte as well.
Yeah, I'll tell you another thing that's very well represented on that board is a work ethic. All 4 of them, they bring a serious work ethic to the game.
You know, I was watching the Grammys last night, and not like you're going to get any great, motivation from watching
What
the
is
Grammys.
that? Did Heidi Klum have the plastic dress on?
Yeah. Oh, there were some wild outfits last night. But one of the artists, I can't remember who it was, said, if you want something, I think it was Pharrell, and he said, you just got to work for it and just keep working. It's going to pay off eventually for you. And I think that's great words of advice.
Yeah, I think so too. My parents were always the same thing. You know what I mean? Just work hard. Hard. I don't care if you want to be a ditch digger, dig it better than the guy that's digging it beside you. And it's a good way to go through life, no doubt about it.
It is. Let's take a look at the first race here tonight on the program. Randy and I are going to put together a consensus Pick 5 ticket. Randy was bragging about his Pick 5 score the other night. You weren't spot.
No, I didn't get enough out of it to biggie size my meal at McDonald's, but I did get it.
And the problem is, you went all in a race, and you almost got a price, but you got
nosed out.
Oh, that's so frustrating.
Yes,
so
exactly.
frustrating.
Thanks, Doug.
So race 1 will have a field of 9. We got left-hand Luke in on delay 6. We've got a shoeing change with Better Beast. I'm terrified of Better Beast tonight. I think the horse is going to race large tonight. And then you've got Chef, who James had a choice of a bunch of different horses here in this spot. I am going to go towards Chef, who's going to be my top pick in here. I just think they found the right evaluation for this guy, and they wasted no time getting into this 20,000 category in here, and has been a razor sharp. What could possibly be his biggest detriment tonight is the draw here today. Can he clear and not avoid using too much energy from that outside draw? But the replay machine is going to be fired up here in regards to Crazy Party Boy. Comes with the same race as Chef. Now, did this horse possibly get a good setup in this most recent race? What was it that you liked about this performance last time out?
Well, number one, starting off there, I used to drive a lot for Bruce Gilkinson. He does a good job. And then he's recently turned this horse over to Kyle Fellows. And he's only had him 3 starts. In each start, he gets better and better. And then last week there, he ends up with a win. Yeah. Now, he is going to get a viciously nice trip here from McClure. But he's a horse that can win. He's won 20% of his races last year at Grand River. He's 1 for 3 this year. So let's take a look at Crazy Party Boy. I think that this guy could easily come back with a double
I don't
up
miss these
in here.
conditions.
No. We should really have Chad call him these ones, So let's roll this one with, and this is going to be Mr. McClure driving Crazy Party Boy. So Bobby is down deep in amongst them here, and is not going to be able to catch air until a little bit late. And then, well, you can see there, we're going to have to wait till they come out of this cloud bank. And then he's going to come, but he is going to come hard on the end of it there. Here he comes. In between. No, this cannot be the same replay.
It does not look like the
this is
replay.
This can't be the same replay. January. No, this should be January 26th.
The race 4 we should be looking at.
4. I must have sent in the wrong one.
That's
sorry.
okay, Randy.
Yeah, sorry about that, Jason. We should have been looking at the race before, so I'm going to commentate it. That's all on me. Sometimes I do get rushing and put in the wrong date. So January 26th was the replay I wanted to show you. He's a winner there by a head. He comes down through them. It was a sweet trip that Bobby gave him. But like I said, the horse gets better each time that he races, and I think that each time that he's racing from this point on, he's going to be one of the ones to that you're going to be looking to put up on top, because where I'm seeing this race, other than Chef, your horse from the far outside, I see a lot of, and again, I agree with you. I think Better Beast could, prove me wrong. But I'm seeing a lot of horses that don't necessarily like to win races, where he just won his last race. I know it was a sweep trip, but like I said, he's getting better each single week that he races, and I think that he can keep carrying this momentum into this week in a field of a bunch of horses that, like I said, other than a couple, I don't really find that they're horses that like to get their nose out front.
The old producer Lisa or video operator Lisa, coffee, because she got the replay for you. Let's take a look at it.
Okay.
January 26th, race 4 on the
Thank you,
program.
Lisa.
When able to get up to win by a head on this day. I find when Bobby's at his best, he's one of the best drivers at tripping out horses.
Oh, is he?
And we'll show you this replay for you right now.
Yeah, this is the one that we were looking at there. So it's going to end up being a really sweet trip. You can see Bobby down in amongst them at the back, second from the last, and he's going to come up here and do a typical Bobby. He never gets impatient. This guy, you never see him clipping somebody somebody when he gets out or squeezing somebody. He just slowly moves his way through there. If I could describe Bob McClure as a driver, I'd put him as Matt Helm. Do you remember those old Dean Martin, Matt Helm? Just really smooth kind of a driver, you know, and gets there. And look at the run out. And that's what I mean. This is 2 weeks in a row. The week before, where James had drove him in that snowy trip that we were looking at, he made up ground on that one. And then this one, same thing. He's making up ground on the end of it. And like I said, this is going to be fourth start for Kyle Fellows. So I really do think that this horse is in a good spot.
Lisa, our video operator, you are the star of the card for pulling off that replay there nicely there with Crazy Party Boy in race number 1. Okay, who are we going to use here, Randy? I want to use Better Beast. I want to use your horse. Can we use Chef as well? Because that's my top pick. Are you fine with 259?
Absolutely.
Okay, so we're going to use 259 there in the opener. Got to write this down. We have a key in the last. We can be a little bit...
You notice how Jeff's not letting me write it down because I'm not even good writing down my own replays, let alone this.
Oh, I've done that before, too. Sometimes it just becomes a bit of a blur, especially when it's your last day of the racing week. So 259 for us there in race number 1. Let's get to the second now on the program. I was a little bit confused with the drive last time it was Side Effects. I picked the horse, and I said to you, Randy, right off the bat, I said, I don't understand why they went right to the back of the bus with the horse last time. Now, maybe they were trying a bit of a different type of style because, you know, more often than not, this horse always seems to have a target on her back. And now she wanted to be a horse that was able to close into something. But I would not be surprised with James being reunited if we get a bit more of an aggressive drive here tonight.
I think so too. I would. My own guess would be that, you know, the horse got raced pretty heavily on January the 12th. Ended up chopping for a while. Tired. Finished third in there. Jody drove with that one, and I have a feeling that maybe Louis looked at it and said, you know, this is 3 starts in a row in front. The last one he got beat.
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't want to be up in front. That's the way I used to kind of look at it too. So you just change things up a little bit, go the other way. But unfortunately for Louis, they crawl down to the half in 58 seconds, and he's sitting back. So, but still, we're going to show you the replay of Side Effects because on the end of it, he had no problem making up ground then. So Side Effects is the way that I'm going to go, and this is a tough pick for me because I love Catch Me Gracefully in here. You know, I liked her before she went on Lasix. Now I really like her. Lasix seems to have tightened her rate up, but I like this one here too, Side Effects. So let's go with Louis Wan sitting way at the back, as you can see, with this one, and just nothing worked out. It was a stale middle half. Like I said, they went down to the half in 58 seconds. They went the third quarter in 29-1. Nothing really went on. It was a snowy night. They gave 3 seconds on the track. It was cold, but here's this one going to start to come on the outside, and this one has gave up a ton of ground, and they're still kind of moving forward here, but this one is really going to be moving forward here. Not only going to be able to catch a lot of these horses, but is able going to get right up into the grill close here. I think here he comes. You can see the shadow starting to move now on the outside, and here he comes now on the outside of it. Good movement on the outside of it. I think that he could come up with a real nice one if he goes back to being raced up close.
The only thing that worries me, and you saw it a little bit on that pan shot, you can really see it on the head-on, is he was getting out pretty good down the lane, or she was. That worries me a tad. So hopefully that's correct, or whatever led to that, because I don't remember her doing that at all.
No, I would say it more, you know, the 3 seconds, the snowy track.
Messy night.
I think it was just a tiring kind of track, and they would drift a little bit on it, you know what I mean? I don't think it's, because I'll tell you why, because she wasn't on a line.
Yeah.
He wasn't having to steer her, you know what I mean? She was just out there, so he might have been just looking for a clear path.
She just might not have been a happy camper with that track that night.
But the trip isn't going to hurt her.
Yeah.
So she's going to come back here and be sharp. So where do you want to go in race 2?
2-5. Are you cool with
2-5's good with me.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we'll
You want to add anybody else?
The only one I would add is just because the barn's quite good as Ariel's best, but I think we got the better call in that race.
Yep.
So I think we're fine there. Well, famous last words. Race number 3 now on the program in here. Now I want to ask you a little bit about Mock Impact's last start because it looks bad, but I think it's a case, Randy, where he maybe needed one, and that's a way tougher group of horses than what he's going to be facing here tonight, don't you think?
Oh, way tougher. Yeah, for sure. You know, this is an 8,000 claiming trot. So let's claiming pace. So let's take a look at his lines, though. So the last time that he raced in this class was December the 22nd, and he was on what I would consider to be a decent rotation. He'd gone November 23rd to December the 15th, so he'd missed about 3 weeks in there, and then he goes right back back on the 7 days, and it's just too much. He was at the quarter, parked to the quarter in 27. He's at the half in 55 and change in an 8,000 claiming condition. Now he makes front in 25 and 3, and then he gets tired. He gets beat 3 lengths as the favorite. You know, it was just too much, and that was in this class. So then he gets up into these 10,000 claiming handicaps. The first time he doesn't race, comes back with a bit of a stale date, does absolutely nothing in there, and now comes down. And you got to remember, he's not dropping into an 8,000 claimer. He's dropping into an 8,000 conditioned claimer. This is even less than an 8,000 claimer. So I'm going to take a chance with a horse that's just shy of 500,000. 49 lifetime wins, Mr. Bradster. We could be seeing the nifty 50 tonight for Mock Impact, and that's the way that I'm going to go. But, you know, in my pick 5, I all this race. You know what I mean? So Mock Impact is my top pick, but you give us what you think you want to do in here.
I'm really scared of Lucky Dancer.
Okay.
The problem is I want all the 4th. That's my problem.
Then if I was you, see now, here's how the way. Okay, so in my pick 5, I all the 3 and I single tie game in the 4th.
That's a gutsy key.
Okay, but in my pick 6, I'm alling race number 4 because I don't have the race 3 in my pick 6. What I'm saying is I find that race 3 and race 4 both are really tough races.
You know what? Let's do this.
Okay.
Let's put all our chips in with Mock Impact.
Okay.
He should be good enough to win this race. He doesn't have as much of a stale date tonight.
Nope.
And he gets into a really, really easy spot. So
I think
let's
so.
take a shot.
And we got the answer.
Yeah.
The answer could be the answer that we're looking for.
You like that, Randy?
I like
you like
that.
we're keying that
I
horse?
like it. I like it.
Right. So we're going to key the 3 there. We're going to have 2 keys in our pick 5 ticket, Randy and I. Let's get to the 4th now on the program.
Oh.
We are going to go all in here, but we should touch on a couple of different dynamics in here. The one thing about tie game that I like with your pick, and I've got your horse 4th in my selections, is I don't know how much time he missed. When I see vet scratch lame, okay, does that mean he's got to really be careful for a week or so before he can really train heavily? Like, I don't know how severe that was. So I look back at that last line. It's probably not as bad as what it could have been. And now we get to put consecutive races together.
Yeah. My problem is that, like, when he came down in here from Rito, he shows one trip at Rito where he goes down the road and he gets picked off. And then his very first start here for McDonald, James gave him a really, really quiet trip, and he finishes second in there. And that's when the problem started. It's just that everybody is more or less making him the favorite, and sometimes James, I think, has to overdo it because of what the odds board is looking at. He could be the favorite in here tonight, but I don't think he's going to be an overwhelming favorite, and I think it's going to allow James to finally race this guy the way he wants to race him, and that's what I'm counting on, is getting a McDonald steer on tie game, and that's why I don't mind singling him. I think that the horse got the ability. He just has to find the right trip, and I think they found the right guy to give it to him. But I would have no problem alling this one either.
We're going to We're going to all, because I'm going on Southwind Manhattan, who could totally self-destruct yet again.
There you go. This is a tough race.
You know, but the thing that I like about Southwind Manhattan is, for the first time, she's got the train wheels on tonight. She's got the hopples on tonight. So maybe that will help her out a little bit in here, because she was bet heavily last time out, and she was kind of moving nicely, and then busted yet again on a night where it was snowy. Like, for the first time in a while, Randy, this horse actually gets a fast racing surface tonight, which would be a big time plus.
And not to mention the fact there, too, that Matt Bax had to go looking for these hobbles, because the back stable don't own hobbles. So you know that he's actually had to make a trip somewhere to find these hobbles.
Had to go to the tack shop. Okay, so that's race number 4. We're going to play a possible exact in here with tie game and Southwind Manhattan, because I think if you get the exact in here too, I think it's going to pay nice, because I don't think there's going to be a decisive favorite. Now, we've spoken to the fact that we have a couple of keys in our sequence here tonight. Wicked Express. Do you think with Malik Smith last time out with Wicked Express, he knew he had a hot horse on his hands, and he said, you know what, let's take a shot and just see if maybe the horse can be competitive against Tougher.
Absolutely. He knows he knows he's only going to have him for the very next start if he puts him back in this 20,000 claimer. So, yeah, I think that's exactly what was going through his mind. You know, the horse is good. He's confident. You know, maybe if he's competitive in this optional 60,000 claimer, that's a heck of a bump up from 20s to a 60, you know. But what he is, though, is that he's on a good rotation. That was a 5-day gun between January 19th 19th and January 24th. A class that, in my opinion, it was much, much too deep for him at that stage. But now he's coming back into a class that he's much more at home. In the meantime, though, Smiles for Miles got himself a nice little win in this class in his last start, built up some nice confidence. But when they're on the same rotation, at no point have I ever looked at Smiles for Miles being a better horse than Wicked Express. If Smiles for Miles has a better rotation, then he can beat him. But if they're coming in here with the same rotation, or if Wicked Express has the better rotation, Smiles for Miles doesn't usually get the best of him. So Wicked Express, I think, is a single.
And I think another option here is Volcanic, but what leads you to believe that Wicked Express is going to be extra good here today is Dougie's not driving for his dad. He's taken off this horse to drive for Malik here tonight.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, listen, like he won this class 2 weeks ago, Volcanic. Last week, in my opinion anyway, he had everything his own way. He was only at the half in 57. He could have finished this off, and he didn't. And that's 2 weeks in a row up on top. So are they going to put him up there again? I don't know, but I do know one thing: Dougie loves racing Wicked Express up on the choo-choo, you know. And I just think that he's the one. If he's going this way, it's because he figures he's the better of the two.
It's almost like Volcanic, to use a thoroughbred term, bounced a little in that last start, just off the layoff. Raced so big on that day, and then last time out, it's a bit of a disappointment finishing third. So here's our $54 ticket. We're going to recap it for you in here. We're guaranteed to have the fourth race. Oh, we got to replay first.
And I didn't write it down.
Pardon me.
Oh, okay.
We got to replay in here with Wicked Express.
And I didn't write it down, the ticket, so it'll be proper.
I got it.
Okay, so here we go with Wicked Express, and this is what I mean. When he's in this class, he is really, really tough to tie down. Now, Smiles for Miles was in this race. He finished fifth, but it wasn't a bad effort, JR, going with him. I actually put him on top his next start simply because of this trip. He was good in here, but again, with Dougie, he doesn't need to look for anybody to make the trip for him. He can just go to the front with this guy, and this guy just keeps moving forward. And you got to take a real serious look at the run out here. You know, nobody at any point is going to get anywhere near. There's a couple horses coming towards him here, but we could have went right to the next turn before anybody gets nose to nose with him, you know. So I just think he's a horse that's much the best in this class.
Yeah, I just think was just waiting for a competition there at that point and didn't have to worry about it in there. So Wicked Express is going to be a consensus pick coming up in race number 5. And here's a look at our ticket. As promised, we've got the all button pressed in race number 4. We're going to start things off with a 2, 5, and the 9. They're all kind of logical horses here coming up in race number 1 on the program. And then in the second race, we've got the 2 and the 5, Side Effects and Catch Me Gracefully. Leave out these culling the horses at your own peril. We're taking a shot with Mock Impact.
Yes.
We think he's going to bounce back with a better race. Yeah. Plus, it'd be cool for him to pick up win number 50 tonight.
Yeah, and we needed the single to get
somewhere.
The all.
Yeah, exactly. Because we had to use them all in the 4th, and then the 5th, we're going to key in on Wicked Express. So $54 if you want to play along with Randy and I. Randy's got his own individual pick 5 tickets as well that we'll show you a little bit later on during the broadcast.
What's the 20 center for 54? Be like
$10 and change.
Yeah, so it's not bad. If you want to play a 20 center, it's a $10 ticket.
Yep, not bad.
Beautiful.
Not bad. We can afford that, Randy.
That's right. That's right. Well, hey, listen, I had to pick 5 last
That's
night.
Right. You're playing with house money.
That's right. I got $60 to play with.
Let's get to the 7th now. This is our feature for the night. We got an equipment change with Southview Aviator. It goes from aluminum to steel, and that's in behind, I believe. I can't read my writing there. I think it's in behind. I like a sneaky horse in this race, Mr. Waples.
Yeah, and who'd that be?
I like J. Port Cash.
Oh, do you?
I do.
Yeah, share why?
Well, for whatever reason, he was in a bit of a funk in December, kept making breaks, right? Then he qualifies. The comeback race was good. The last race was better, and I'm just thinking we're sitting on a really good one here tonight, so that's why I'm going to go on J-Port Cash. I think Daffy Hanover is the horse to beat. Yeah, I'm a little bit bummed the horse lost last time out, but I like J-Port Cash in there at a bit of a number. I got him in for second, so I obviously know where you're going. I'm going to go with what I think is a little bit of a sleeper, too, and that's the 2-horse Pentofolo. Yeah.
Wow, say that word.
I think it's Pentofoleo, I would say.
Okay, that's going to be your job for the rest of the night,
That's
Mr.
Chad's
Brad.
job, actually.
That's right, exactly, yeah. Anyway, the 2-horse in race number 7 is the way that I'm going to go in this one. I think it's a horse that's been racing, much over his head. But every once in a while, he'll show you good races, And he's even on 3 down, if you look, 27-3 on the end of it. But spending time in the winners of 3, not more than 5 in his last. twice in the optional 60 before that. You know, I mean, I just think that he's in a better spot in here, level of competition wise, and I'm not killer about the draw, but I don't hate it either. So the 2 horse is the way I'm going to go. But I do have yours in for second. I think that yours could come up with a goodie.
I really wanted to pick Love You to the Moon and Back. This is the Waples angle, second time Lasix. But the horse was in for that non-winners of 6,000, would look really, really good. I just don't know if he's good enough to beat these or not.
Not really sure if she's able to either, but I agree with you. I threw her in on the bottom too, second start Lasix.
Let's get to the 8th race now on the program. This is a condition trot in here. We're going to go for a purse of $18,000 in this spot. I kind of want to pick your brain a little bit about this Happy Angel in here, Randy, because she raced so well last time, and she got picked off by a horse that you and I quite liked on that day, that being a stable horse that just got up in the last jump. But the fractions weren't all that fast. Like, he kind of had every chance to win, but I'm still going to give him the benefit of the doubt because I thought that's the best race he's ever competed. Are you going to go this way, or are you going to go in a different direction?
Different direction, but I am using Happy Angel in for third. So you got Happy Angel on top?
Yeah, I went 2, 4, 3.
Well, I like your pick. I got her in for third. I mean, number one, she comes out of a real good barn with Gaetan Hebert. The other one being the fact 8-hole last week, made a big leave out of there.
Yeah.
Now the 2-hole this week. This should be a little bit easier to get positioned, you know, early on. And I thought it was the same as you. I thought it was a really good effort. Royal Flush Deo had to trot every lick he could to get her on the end of it. It just happened to be that technically he's probably a better horse.
Yeah.
So he was able to, you know, do that. But she didn't race bad. I'm going to go to the 1 horse in here, over end, McClure, Ronnie McDonald on this one. I think that, you know, this one's getting sneaky good on the end of it. And to me, there's no better driver for a sneaky good horse than Bobby McClure. He, you know, takes a lot of shortcuts and is able to get them to the wire. I think sometimes with McClure, you can hit him before everybody knows that horse is trending into a win the next time. Because even though he knows that the horse is good, he keeps racing it a certain way, and then all of a sudden they'll just explode with 3 or 4 wins in a row. You know what I mean? So I think he's a pretty sharp dude, this guy.
And this barn's really good right now.
Yes.
Really good right now. They
Another
got a
sharp man.
Bunch of, and like, I think they've hit the top 3 like 50% of the year. I know they had some racers last night as well. Kinder Ice Cube, I think, obviously a contender in this race, you know. But
another one though should have sealed the deal.
Couple times now.
Yes, exactly. That's twice now, and in my opinion, should have sealed the deal. Tyler did absolutely perfect with this horse both times that he drove her, but yet she just a little shy about getting her picture taken.
9th race of the day is going to be driven by a guy. The favorite will be that could be in a James Bond movie, and this is Ed Hensley. If you get a chance to go on social media and take a look at the Hurricane, Ed Hensley at the O'Brien
cleans
Awards,
up.
The next James Bond should be Ed Hensley.
I'll tell you something there, man. I mean, if you'd have put Ed Hensley and Pierce Brosnan and Cary Grant all in the same picture, everybody would have looked past the 2 celebrities and said, who's the guy in the middle? Who's the tiny guy in the middle? That's Ed Hensley.
I was just waiting for Ed to talk into his hand or something, to talk to his spies and stuff like that. But man, he looked good at the O'Brien Awards.
He did.
Toronto, I was caught off guard a little bit because the horse got roughed up a little bit and still won last time, but I'm like, maybe they kind of figured something out with this guy. This field's not come up tough, Randy.
No, it's not overly, you know, real tough. And I'm wondering if you're kind of into something with Toronto, right? Because he's a big always be Mickey, right?
Yeah.
And what did you say? He got roughed up, and then he comes back with a better effort than what we've been seeing.
Yep.
Kind of makes you wonder if maybe he likes that kind of stuff. And there's lots of horses that like the trainer or the driver for that matter to be hard on them. They like to be raced hard, and the harder that they get raced, usually the better that they get. Now this guy gets raced really hard and ends up with a nice 4th in there, and then comes back next week and annihilates them.
Yeah.
I threw him in for second. I mean, this is 3 weeks in a row in this class. So, you know, I'm taking a little bit of a risk playing against him. But there is a horse in here that I've been following for quite a while, and his name is Call Me It. And I'm going to take a chance on him. I got him down as better. You can see the line. He was in against Toronto last week. He had no answers for Toronto on the end of it there. He finishes 3rd, beaten 4. Toronto's a winner by 2. But he was better. And he only got tired right at the end of the mile, right at the end of it. And he just didn't have any more wheels. But each week he gets a little bit better on this rotation. This is a good horse. This is a really, really good horse. And I think Katrina's done a marvelous job with him. He obviously has a few issues here and there, but when she has him on his game, this was meant to be a really, really good horse. So I'm hoping that tonight he is going to get the best of Toronto, and I'm going to take a chance and put Call Me It and Trevor Henry up on top.
Perfect. Race number 9. We'll start off the late double. Jackpot High Five carryover goes as race number 10. Pool at $130,932.25. We scratched number 6, that being Gold Digger. I think that's a big, big scratch in here. I love the way the horse performed back on December the 1st. Last time, for whatever reason, self-destructed. And now, Randy, the next time this horse races, the date's even going to be staler for Gold Digger now. So that becomes a bit of a challenge in here.
It does.
But talk to me, my friend. Like, for replay purposes, Randy has gone all the way back to a replay that was in black and white. That's how far back he's gone. It's January the 5th, and it's in regards to Validus in the spots.
Yeah, so Validus, again, the interesting these classes, okay, so this is a non-winners of 2 or 20,000, and that's the key that I'm going to be beaten on here is the 20,000. If it's capped at 20,000, then that means that basically most horses that have a lot of money made, but that hasn't maybe have those 2 wins, they're eligible for that. And it's a different look, you know what I mean? Like if you have a whole bunch of horses that have only got 20,000 made, they're at the same kind of a level. But if you all of a sudden take that same race and you take that 20 and you open that up to 50,000, you got a whole different complexion, even though it says, oh, it's still non-winners of 2. It's the money you got to pay attention to. So my all-in is in this race, and it's going to be the 5-horse Validus. Now, this is one we're going to show you January the 5th when she was in non-winners of 2 or $20,000 for Scotty Young. And we're going to show you that replay because her next start, she goes into non-winners of 2, but now it's $31,000. Now she's got a race against Daffy Hanover and these types of, but she still ends up with a good third. Then the next week, she's in non-winners of 3 races and $40,000. So, and she ends up with a 5th. Now, back down to non-winners of 2 or 20,000. I think this is a nice drop down for Validus. And here we go with the answer, Scott Young. And when Roy Jeffries has Validus trotting good, boy, oh boy, can she ever make ground up on the end of it. Look at Scotty out here, 6, maybe even 7 wide. I mean, you could high-five him on the way past the grandstand. He's out so far, but she just keeps coming and keeps coming. And like I said, this is the last time that she was in the straight non-winners of 2 or $20,000. Doesn't get the job done, but boy, oh boy, she does get awful close. Like I said, spends a lot of time in some tougher classes, and now comes back down into this class with a good draw and picks up McDonald as well. So Validus is the way that Randall goes.
That's a good selection. That's a sneaky pick. Many of us are going towards Fateful. I'm going towards Fateful for a couple of different reasons. Obviously, I like the last start. And, the horse raced great, but was 51-1 on that day. Tripped out really nicely, courtesy of Bob. But if any individuals are so happy to see a month of January go by, it's Team Christopher.
Oh, yes. Yeah, no doubt. Especially one Team Christopher.
Exactly. So February's here. Fresh month. Let's go. Let's get Fateful going here in race number 10. Jackpot High Five carryover. $130,932.25. We can set to wrap it up in there.
You know what I was just thinking? I wonder in all the time that the Greek's been off, I wonder how many times he's watched The Cable Guy.
That's a great movie.
I bet you he's watched it half a dozen times.
That's easily in the top 5 Jim Carrey movies for me of all time.
Yeah, he loves that movie.
Oh, it's a great movie.
I think he knows it word by word.
It's the best. It is the best. Yeah, no, it's fantastic. Here's a look at our consensus pick 5 ticket in here. We're going to spend $54. We've got all coming up in the 4th. 2, 5, and 9 here to start it off. So let's look at what Randy and I are going to do for our early pick 5, and hopefully you have some success at the windows. We've had some nice pools as of late, so hopefully that does continue. Let's take a look at some other tickets that we put together for everybody to give some consideration to. I am told to stretch.
Stretch.
You know what I did yesterday, Randy?
Did I what?
What I did yesterday.
What'd you do?
I went to Medieval Times.
I've been there.
It was so much fun.
Isn't it?
I had a
I didn't like the
blast.
food. Didn't like the food.
Well, yeah, but you're not going
You
for the
know,
food, right?
you know, yeah, no, but
Yeah.
I didn't really care
Well,
much
because you
for
got
the
to eat
food.
for their hands, right?
Exactly.
Because you're going back in
Yeah,
time.
and the pewter bowls and the, that kind of stuff. But
I had a blast.
love it. I mean,
Yeah.
talk about horsemanship.
Oh, I know.
Unreal.
I asked the guy, so my team won. I asked the guy, I said, did you know how to ride before you came here? He said, no, they taught us. He was an actor first.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Wow. Great.
Here's a look at your pick six ticket, buddy.
Yeah, I'm going to start it off with an all in race number 4. Like I said, I don't like race number 3 and race number 4 are big mysteries to me, so I'm all in 4. In race number 5, single with Wicked Express. In race number 6, going pretty deep, using all my picks, including he's Swift in there too. So no, I'm not. I'm using all but my 6, the 6 horse I got in for 4th. But I'm going to use as a win candidate, I'm using 1, 4, 5, and 8. Race number 7, Pinto number 2 in race number 7 is going to be a single. And race, I'm not even going to struggle with that name. In race number 8, singling on to Over End. And going to finish it off in race number 9 with Toronto and Call Me It.
And we got some other tickets that we'll take a look at. We got late pick 5s to give some consideration to, and very similar. You always build your late pick 5s and late pick 6s very similarly.
More or less, yeah. Just look for, the race that I don't like, I usually try to get through it with an all. And, like I said, race number 7 in the trot, that's the 2 horse,
Yeah.
the nameless one. A race number 8, 1 horse Over End is going to be a single. 5 and 6 in race number 9. And then in race number 10, I'm going to go with French Money Hanover Validus, who's going to be my top pick, and Fateful.
And here's a look at my late pick 5 ticket. It got cheaper because I had a scratch where I went 3 deep. So in the 6th, I'm going to key in and Always Be Sweetest, hoping that horse can repeat. 7th, I got J-Port Cash and Daffy Hanover. This is a skinny ticket, I admit it, but I could have spent 160 if I had to. Happy Angel and the 4 Kinder Ice Cube, and then 5, 8, and 5, 8s. I've got Toronto and Flying Art 8 is kind of my long, or Flying Art, I should say, is kind of my long shot in the 9th. And then the 10th race, I've got the 5 and the 8. But yeah, I could see you, Randy. I could honestly see you being one of the knights in medieval times. Because you have some acting in you.
Oh yeah, I could do that.
I think you could
trust
do
me.
it.
Yeah, I could do it. Now I'm going to tell you something too. It's not just the Greek that knows every line from that movie
Who else?
either.
You?
Oh yeah.
You like the Cable Guy?
I've watched the Cable Guy.
Oh, great movie.
I'll guarantee you the 6 times that the Greeks watched it, I've probably been sitting beside him watching it. And if we're not watching it, then we're repeating lines to one another.
Here's a look
I
at...
like Liar Liar. Hey, Jason coming up with
our
Liar Liar.
producer likes
I like
Liar
it.
Liar. That's a
Yeah.
good movie too.
It is.
Let's take a look at your plays of the day.
Okay, race 1, Crazen Party Boy. Going to start my night off with him, and he's going to be my Waples watch. In race number 6, we're going to be Worth a Look, and that's going to be Let's Get Pickled. And my Beat the Fave is going to come along in race number 9, and that's going to be Call Me It, looking to beat maybe Toronto. And my all-in, you got to stick around, that's going to be Validus in race 10.
And we'll take a look at my plays of the day. And I've got Chef as my best bet of the night tonight. I'm going to find a bit of a price with my best bet. There were others that I liked as well, but I always look at best bets as horses that you could bet that you're going to get a decent return on investment. Like anybody can make a 1 to 5 shot their best bet. Mm-hmm. That's not a fun way of trying to make money at the races. More often than not, you're going to lose money. So you want to try and find a horse that's going to be 3 to 1, 5 to 2, and make a couple of bucks. The old Hopples added angle with Southwind Manhattans. My multi-leg single is Wicked Express, and my Beat the Favorite is going to be J-Port Cash coming up in the 7th.
Interesting, Mr. Brad did his homework.
Here's a look at Plays of the Nights, Kevin Plaucha. I like Kevin.
Yeah,
I'm scared
I
of
do
Better
too.
Beast
That's a good pick.
Especially
yeah.
with the change now, with the shoeing change.
Yeah.
He's Swift, that's where Garnett's going to
That's
go.
actually a pretty nice pick too. He's coming up in class, but he's picking up McNair.
I Love You to the Moon and Back is
That's
just
another interesting one.
Okay, go. Okay, so I'm looking at other Jim Carrey movies. Dumb and Dumber for me.
That was a good one.
1 or 2 for sure.
Yeah.
Liar Liar, definitely I'm with the producer Jason on that one.
Yeah.
I did like that one. I thought he was fantastic in The Grinch. I thought he was
he's amazing.
amazing in The Grinch.
Yeah.
What else did I really like of his?
I like
Ace
Pet
Ventura's
Detective.
good.
Yeah.
Ace was,
I
it
like
was
the
good.
other one too there, the goofy one there that he did too.
Now, you know what I haven't seen?
Oh.
Have you seen Truman Show? Should I watch Truman Show?
It was okay.
Just
It's
okay?
just
All
it's
right.
just kind of okay.
right.
I like his bizarre comedy. It would be like watching Jerry Lewis but try to be in Shakespeare or something. It's just
I like The Mask. I thought The Mask was good.
Mask was real good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mask was real good.
Randy
too.
and I could talk movies all day
Oh,
long.
yes. Yes, I love
And
my
our
movies.
producer is a huge movie nut
Yeah,
as
let's
well.
move on, Siskel and Ebert.
Okay, well, do you have a
Did you-
favorite Jim Carrey movie there, Mr.
Well, it's funny that
Mr.
you
Grinch?
guys are debating about The Truman Show. I think you should watch it, Jeff. It is a
Really?
fantastic movie.
Okay.
Yeah, now you know not to watch it.
Yeah.
Now you know not to watch it. There.
Yeah,
That's
here
it.
we
yeah,
go.
this is it. This
We're
is
going
the
to take
guy.
a break. We'll talk more movies during the commercial, and then Chad will have his call of race number 1 coming up momentarily. Good luck, everybody.